Hello, rail fans. Welcome to French Fried Trains. It's Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. We went out in the morning, but when we got to our normal spot at Washington Street, construction trucks were parked where we normally park, so we moved over by the bridge. About half an hour later, the first train arrived. Luckily enough on this one, I was able to hear it coming over the traffic and had time to get a little bit closer. Awesome EMD power as an SD43 and an SD42 lead a northbound train across the bridge. Judging by the power on this train and the time, it was probably J782. Lots of covered hoppers on this guy. And some graffiti on these cards adds a splash of color. And some tank cars bring up the rear. After this train, I walked all the way back to my car because it was freezing that morning. That ended up being a mistake because I was farther away by the time I heard the next train coming, and I didn't have time to get as close as this one. I barely got the camera up and running in time. An ET44AH followed by an ES44DC lead this train. Note the different logos on each locomotive. Some auto racks mixed in on this one. Now a big string of boxcars. A southbound manifest with all 6-axle power. I'm unsure which train this was. And some whole car covering graffiti there. I hate being this far away from the train in this spot, and normally in the summer I would walk right up by the bridge and wait for the trains, but with it being winter and so cold, I had to stay in my car while I was waiting. A big cut of coil shield cars here. And some covered hoppers bring up the rear. About 25 minutes later, our next visitor was a helicopter. Check that out. A Norfolk Southern Maintenance of Way truck heads down the rails just as the chopper passes over. He even blew the horn for us. After that, I walked back to my car due to the cold. Another mistake. Moments later, right before I got in my car, I heard that truck honk and a locomotive's horn. A train was coming from the other side of the bridge, and I couldn't get close in time. A pair of SD-43 rebuilds lead this southbound. This was J783, the counterpart train to the J782 we saw earlier. And just like its counterpart train, this one's carrying lots of covered hoppers. This shiny black hopper stands out among the crowd, even with the graffiti. And that was all the trains I got that day. I wasn't able to get out rail fanning for another full week. So now it's December 22nd, and we're back at Washington Street. After waiting a full hour, a train finally arrived. ES44ACH leads, followed by an ES44DC. The trailing unit is the Seaboard Heritage sticker unit. I didn't even catch it at the time, so here's some screenshots. This was a monster auto wreck train. This one took over 10 minutes to go by, so we're going to go ahead and speed it up a bit. A big giant skull painted on this one. We're in a fairly old Union Pacific one here. Well, folks, that's all for this episode of French Fried Trains. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video wherever you can. It really helps the channel. Everyone have a great holiday, and stay safe out there.